Hey, Space Cadets. So today I had a friend reach out to me about a possible move that she's going to have to make across country. She was saying that a lot of the people surrounding her were responding sort of negatively to this, and it was making her fear even more the possibility of having to make this move. She struggled with anxiety and depression, and I believe that their negative response is sort of in reaction to that fact. So that inspired me to do a little video about personal shift. So people are used to seeing you in a pattern, and they will continue to treat you that way, but you can't let their beliefs or fears decide your fate because patterns change. And if they're relentless about treating you as if you were the same as before, you have to let them know that it's throwing you off. For example, I had to ask my parents permission to no longer see me as a girl with intense cyclical depression because I figured out what was causing it after several years and a lot of self-exploration, but I figured it out. And once I understood where the weeds were growing, I could go about the process of removing them. Now, the weeds will keep growing, but they do come back more sparse and spread apart, and you'll never not know where they're coming from anymore. But if you need help figuring out where it's coming from, write down the story that you're telling yourself and others about who you are and what you struggle with. Listen to the words you use. Listen to how you speak to yourself. Are you focused on the problem? If you are, then no solution can come to you because you have to be solution focused in order for that to happen. And then realize that being so deeply entrenched within that old story is what keeps you in that pattern. You have to stop telling that story. Because when you tell this story to yourself and others, if they're not aware that they're participating in this unhealthy thought virus, then you're also writing their part of the story because they're going to react in ways that either you or society have trained them to respond. Again, I had to ask my parents to begin thinking of me and treating me as someone who's already healed their depression. Because anytime I was sharing feelings of self-doubt or sadness or fear with them, they would respond to that dialogue in ways that assumed that I was already spiraling out of control, and thus, I would. So now they're able to see that when I talk about those negative emotions, that I'm just going through the normal process that everyone goes through, and they can respond with positivity, knowing that I'll work through it. When you feel yourself teetering, adjust the story you're telling yourself. Soothe yourself by writing a brighter future. As you continue to practice this, you'll be able to adjust your focus into good feelings quicker and for longer periods of time. You will get better at walking the tightrope, I promise. But in times that you can't seem to get rid of the story or the negative feelings, just sit with them. Allow those feelings to take their course, and eventually you will gain clarity. Because sometimes our feelings have to take us for a ride so that we can achieve the next level of understanding. Now, this doesn't look or feel like a gift when you're in the middle of the suffering, but it is. Everyone is born inside of a problem, and it's to their benefit to transcend it. And as they transcend it, they heal the world. They heal that entire narrative. So maybe you're born into a racist family, or born poor, or born rich for that matter. Or maybe you lost your parents at a young age or don't have a good relationship with them. Or maybe you've been told for many years that you're mentally ill. Whatever struggles that you were born into, as you understand and transcend them, you blaze a trail of understanding for others. And everyone else who's struggling with that same issue has a deeper groove then in the ground to follow. You've cleared the underbrush for the collective unconscious, and you're doing good work for everyone by doing good things for yourself. We have a cultural habit of justifying where we are in life by telling our tales of woe. We convince ourselves and others that we're victims of circumstance, and oftentimes those who are empathetic will exacerbate the problem by wallowing with us, which only encourages the same dialogue because we're focusing our very powerful creative attention on a story we don't like. We start movements, we go on strike, we launch awareness campaigns and make laws to try to correct our cultural story, but that's not how evolution works. It may not seem fair and it may be extremely difficult at times, but we have to forgive those people and narratives that we feel victimized by so that we can choose a brighter future. The only reason to ever share a common plight or a tale of woe with someone is so that they can understand how to love you better, how to steer you back into your own alignment. You have to share from a place of desiring to break through to the positive rather than trying to fix the negative. Can you feel the difference? And when you listen to people who are sharing their struggle, you have to listen with the intention of hearing how to love them better. Because when you understand their pain and their process, your interactions will become more meaningful, and the help you offer will come from a place of more clarity. So, in closing, if you can take only 2 things away from this video, let them be this. Don't label your illnesses. Just be aware of your proclivities so you can adjust them. And second, that you owe your compassion to people's darkness, not your commiseration. This is Endless Sky Dialogues, and I'm Kelsey Ray, signing off.